Chemical weapons stand as a chilling testament to humanity's capacity for destruction. These weapons, often invisible and odorless, have the power to inflict unimaginable suffering and death on a massive scale. Unlike conventional weapons, they don't discriminate. They don't care if you're a soldier on the front lines or a civilian seeking shelter. Their reach is indiscriminate, affecting anyone and anything in their path. They don't target specific individuals or locations. Instead, they spread through the air, carried by the wind, seeping into homes, schools, and hospitals. The very air we breathe becomes a weapon. Instead, they unleash indiscriminate suffering, leaving a trail of agony and death in their wake. The injuries they cause are horrific, often leaving survivors with lifelong scars, both physical and psychological. From the trenches of World War I to modern battlefields, chemical weapons have left an indelible mark on history. Their use has been a grim reminder of the depths of human cruelty and the devastating impact of war. These insidious weapons come in various forms, each more horrifying than the last. Blister agents, choking agents, blood agents, and nerve agents, each designed to cause maximum pain and suffering. Some burn the skin and lungs, while others paralyze the nervous system. The effects can be immediate or delayed, but the result is always the same: excruciating pain and often a slow, agonizing death. The common thread: excruciating pain and a slow, agonizing death. Victims often suffer in silence, their cries for help unheard amidst the chaos of war. Throughout history, these weapons have been deployed with devastating consequences, serving as a stark reminder of the horrors of war. Entire towns have been wiped out, and generations have been scarred by their use. This essay delves into the dark history of chemical weapons. We will explore their origins, their development, and the many ways they have been used to inflict pain and suffering. We will explore the deadliest agents ever used, examining their development, deployment, and devastating impact. From the laboratories where they were created to the battlefields where they were unleashed, we will uncover the full extent of their horror. From the sulfur mustard of World War I to the nerve agents of the 20th century, we will uncover the science behind these weapons and the human cost of their use. The stories of the victims, the survivors, and the witnesses will be brought to light. By understanding the horrors of chemical warfare, we can strive to prevent their use in the future. Education and awareness are our best tools in the fight against these silent killers. The stories of the victims and the lessons learned from past atrocities must serve as a stark warning to future generations. We must remember their suffering and honor their memory by ensuring that such weapons are never used again. We must collectively strive for a world where chemical weapons are relegated to the history books, a testament to the folly of unchecked aggression. Only then can we hope to build a future free from the shadow of these silent killers. In the annals of chemical warfare, mustard gas or sulfur mustard holds a grim distinction. This weapon, notorious for its devastating effects, has left an indelible mark on the history of warfare. First used in 1917 during World War I, mustard gas is a blistering agent that inflicts horrific injuries. Unlike other weapons, its effects are not immediate, making it particularly insidious. It can take several hours for the effects to manifest, adding to the insidious nature of this weapon. Soldiers would often be unaware they were exposed until it was too late. Exposure to mustard gas causes severe burns to the skin, eyes, and respiratory tract. The gas attacks the moist tissues of the body, leading to excruciating pain and suffering. Victims experience intense pain, blistering, and difficulty breathing. The blisters can become infected, leading to further complications and prolonged agony. The gas can contaminate clothing and equipment, prolonging exposure and increasing the risk of severe injury. Even those who tried to help the affected soldiers could become victims themselves. The long-term effects of mustard gas are equally devastating. Survivors often faced a lifetime of health issues, their bodies and minds forever scarred by the experience. Survivors often suffer from chronic lung problems, blindness, and an increased risk of cancer. The damage to their respiratory systems can lead to a lifetime of breathing difficulties and other serious health problems. The psychological trauma of experiencing a mustard gas attack can also have lasting consequences. Many soldiers were haunted by the memories of the gas attacks, suffering from what we now recognize as post-traumatic stress disorder. The use of mustard gas in World War I marked a turning point in the history of warfare. It demonstrated the horrific potential of chemical weapons and changed the way wars were fought. It demonstrated the horrific potential of chemical weapons and sparked international outrage. the world was horrified by the suffering caused by mustard gas, leading to calls for a ban on such weapons. The Geneva Protocol of 1925 prohibited the use of chemical weapons in war, reflecting a global consensus on the barbarity of these weapons. This treaty was a significant step towards the regulation of warfare and the protection of soldiers and civilians from the horrors of chemical attacks. Chlorine gas, a readily available industrial chemical, emerged as a terrifying weapon during World War I. Its debut on the battlefield in 1915 shocked the world with its brutality. Heavier than air, chlorine gas sinks into trenches, turning battlefields into suffocating death traps. When inhaled, chlorine gas reacts with moisture in the lungs to form hydrochloric acid. This acid burns the delicate tissues of the respiratory system, causing excruciating pain and respiratory distress. Victims experience a burning sensation in the throat and chest, followed by coughing, wheezing, and shortness of breath. In high concentrations, chlorine gas can kill within minutes. Those who survive often suffer from long-term lung damage, including chronic bronchitis and emphysema. The psychological impact of chlorine gas attacks is equally profound, leaving survivors with haunting memories of their ordeal. The use of chlorine gas in World War I highlighted the indiscriminate nature of chemical warfare. It demonstrated that these weapons could not be contained within the traditional boundaries of the battlefield and posed a significant threat to civilians and soldiers alike. Section 4. Phosgene, the silent killer of World War I. While less well known than mustard gas or chlorine gas, phosgene was the deadliest chemical weapon used in World War I. It was responsible for the majority of chemical weapon fatalities during the conflict, claiming thousands of lives. This odorless and colorless gas, often described as smelling like musty hay, proved to be a silent killer on the battlefields. Its stealthy nature made it particularly dangerous, as soldiers often didn't realize they were being poisoned until it was too late. Phosgene is a choking agent that attacks the lungs. When inhaled, it causes severe damage to the respiratory system, leading to a slow and painful death. Like chlorine gas, it reacts with moisture in the lungs to form hydrochloric acid. This reaction causes the lungs to fill with fluid, making it increasingly difficult for the victim to breathe. However, phosgene is far more lethal than chlorine. Even in small concentrations, it can be deadly, and its effects are often delayed, making it a particularly insidious weapon. Its effects are often delayed, with victims experiencing few initial symptoms. This delay could be anywhere from a few hours to a full day, during which time the victim might continue to perform their duties, unaware of the impending danger. Within hours of exposure, victims develop pulmonary edema, a condition in which the lungs fill with fluid. This leads to severe shortness of breath, coughing, and a blue discoloration of the skin, known as cyanosis. The buildup of fluid in the lungs makes it increasingly difficult to breathe, causing the victim to suffocate slowly. Death from phosgene poisoning is slow and agonizing. The victim's lungs gradually fill with fluid, leading to a painful and drawn-out suffocation. The delayed effects of phosgene made it a particularly insidious weapon. Soldiers might feel fine immediately after exposure, only to collapse hours later as the gas took its toll. Soldiers exposed to the gas might not realize they had been poisoned until it was too late. This delay in symptoms often meant that medical intervention came too late to save the victim. The gas could linger in trenches and dugouts long after an attack, posing a continued threat to troops. Even after the initial attack, the presence of phosgene in the air could continue to harm and kill soldiers who thought they were safe. The use of phosgene in World War I marked a grim chapter in the history of warfare. It highlighted the devastating impact of chemical weapons and the need for better protective measures and medical treatments for those exposed. Today, the legacy of phosgene and other chemical weapons serves as a stark reminder of the horrors of war and the importance of international efforts to ban such inhumane methods of combat. The lessons learned from the use of phosgene in World War I have led to significant advancements in chemical weapon detection, protection, and international treaties aimed at preventing their use in future conflicts. As we remember the silent killer of World War I, we must continue to strive for a world where such weapons are never used again, ensuring that the sacrifices of those who suffered are not forgotten. Section 5. Nerve agents, a new era of chemical warfare. The development of nerve agents in the 1930s marked a terrifying new chapter in the history of chemical warfare. These highly toxic chemicals attack the nervous system, causing rapid and agonizing death. Nerve agents are far more lethal than the chemical weapons used in World War I. Nerve agents such as sarin, soman, and tabun work by disrupting the transmission of nerve impulses throughout the body. This disruption leads to a cascade of debilitating effects, including muscle paralysis, respiratory failure, and seizures. Exposure to even small amounts of nerve agents can be fatal. Symptoms of nerve agent poisoning include pinpoint pupils, drooling, convulsions, and loss of consciousness. Death can occur within minutes of exposure. The development of nerve agents raised serious concerns about the potential for chemical warfare on a massive scale. These weapons were seen as a threat to both military personnel and civilian populations, leading to renewed calls for international agreements to ban their production and use.